Today we're diving into the world of utility knives, comparing three budget heavy hitters: the Lennox Gold utility knife, the Husky utility knife, and the Milwaukee Fastback utility knife. Whether you're a pro tradesman or a DIY enthusiast like myself, we'll break down their features, performance, and what makes each one of these stand out, and which one I prefer. So let's cut to the chase and get started. Now, one of the pros of these three utility knives is that their prices range between $8 to $16 US, which is on the economic side, to be honest. You don't have to break the bank. Now, the first knife we're looking at is the Lennox Gold. This one ranges about $12 to $15 US. Now, you have a thumb stud, but it's kind of hard to open it with just one hand. In all honesty, you have to open it with two hands. Otherwise, you'll really have a hard time trying to open it with just one. So I'm not really sure if they were going for a one-handed open or if they were really trying just to, just add an extra feature on there, just to say that it had a thumb stud. But it is extremely difficult to try to open it with just one hand. Now you do get this rubberish handle here, which is pretty good for grip. It actually feels pretty good, and it really helps to soften the grip. Now, in order to remove the blade on this Lennox Gold, it's actually kind of tricky because you cannot remove it when it's fully open. You can press the button down, but it's actually locked in place, so you cannot remove the blade at all. The only way to remove the blade is actually if you bring it to a 45-degree angle or close to a 45, not necessarily a full 45 degree. But from there, that's when you could go ahead and press down the button so it could release the blade. Otherwise, you will not be able to remove the blade. So that's just something to consider. Now, whenever you do want to remove the blade, you have to have it at this specific angle, not fully open, but at this specific angle in order to remove the blade. So here, another demonstration, press, it removes the blade without any single problem. You won't have a hard time at all. Just put it back in. If you open it to the full position, oh, it won't even let me open because you can see I didn't even put it all the way in. It didn't secure in place. So let's try that one more time. There, now it's secured. We could open it at the full position. And if we try to take out the blade, it is completely locked. Now that's a pretty cool feature because this makes sure that if you're using the tool, you won't accidentally press the button and release the blade. You could be holding it, cutting some sheetrock or opening something. You could accidentally put some pressure on the button, which is fairly simple to do so. And if you do, it won't release the blade. So that's actually a pretty good feature on this utility knife. Now, also included in this utility knife, you get a few other tools. Down here at the bottom, you get actually a multi-tool. So let's go ahead and take a look at that one. As you can see here, you get a bottle opener, a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and this is supposed to be also a pipe reamer. So that's a pretty cool feature. They didn't have to put this, but it comes in handy for other things. You definitely could use that screwdriver, not necessarily just for screws, but you could also use it to pry something open. Now, another tool that comes included with the Lennox Gold is a wire stripper located right beneath where you insert the blade. So again, for emergencies, these come in handy for sure. Now, also included with the Lennox Gold is this really awesome looking belt clip or pocket clip, however you want to call it. And it's actually got the design of the logo on there. Now, where can you find the Lennox Gold? Now, you could obviously find this on the Lennox website online. You could also find these on eBay or on some other online stores as well. Up next, we have the Husky utility knife. Now this one costs between $8 to $10 US on average. Opens and closes with two hands as well, just like the Lennox Gold. It's got this thumb stud here, but to be honest, you really have to put some pressure on it and it kind of hurts your thumb. You could do it. You could definitely open it with one hand, but you're really gonna have to put some pressure on it. Look at my thumb right there. That's some pretty good pressure I had to put there just to open it. So obviously I recommend just open it with two hands. It's the best way to open this one. So as mentioned, you get the thumb stud for a one-handed opening. You get the lock release at the bottom. So similar to the Lennox, you have the lock release at the bottom to release the blade. To close the blade, I meant to say. Now you also get a quick change blade mechanism. Now this actually comes with some instructions engraved on it to let you know just how to remove the blade. So the way you do so is you press on this button here to the back, you push it to the back like so, and then you pull this part down and that just opens and exposes the blade entirely. So you don't have to actually pull the blade out, you just lift it out in place. And as you're putting your new blade in, all you have to do is just set it in place, lift this side part, back up and it automatically locks in place. Now that's probably the best feature on this utility knife in my opinion. Now you also get a belt clip similar to the Lennox, and this one also has the Husky logo engraved to it, pressed on it, I meant to say. This is a full metal utility knife, no rubber on it whatsoever. Now you also get a lanyard hole, so you could hang your keys or a lanyard onto it. And you can find this specific model on eBay. I'm not sure if you can still find it at Home Depot though. They have other similar Husky utility knives at Home Depot, but I have not seen this one anymore. I believe this specific model is discontinued already. And now let's look at the last utility knife, which is the Milwaukee Fastback. Now the price ranges between $15 to $16 US. Now this one truly opens with one hand. It's actually super convenient and also extremely fidgety. All you have to do is just press down this button right here. Now let's go ahead and do a few demonstrations. All you have to do, like I said, you press this lock button to release and it swings open. Just like that. We can swing this open and close without a problem. Swings open, swings back closed. And like I said, it's actually extremely fidgety. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Super convenient to have this. And it's actually quite smooth actually. You just press it and it releases the blade. Easy, simple to open and close. Now included with the Milwaukee Fastback, you also get this belt clip here. And you don't get any multi-tool to it, but you do get some storage at the bottom. And that stores up to 5 utility knives. And these are held in place with a magnet, so they won't fall off. This way, you don't have to be looking around for your blades whenever you're working. You know that you have 5 on hand with you at all times. So extremely convenient to have these on your blade for sure. Now, aside from that pretty cool feature, you also get a lanyard hold as well. So you could put a lanyard or some key chains or something. You also get a wire stripper similar to the Lennox Gold as well. And finally, you also get a gut hook that you can use obviously when you have the blade closed. And probably the best feature on this is the quick change blade button. And in order to release and switch out the blade, you got this quick release button right here. All you do is just press it down and it will release the blade without a single problem. Now, I would recommend that in order to have this feature and all features in general for all the utility knives to work properly, like the quick change blade button or also the one-handed open and close button, I mean, you have to make sure to keep these actually clean, free from debris. Otherwise, they'll start jamming up on you. If you're going to be using it for sheetrock, I recommend just whenever you finish using it, just try to dust it off so that way you won't have all that dust build up in some of these areas where obviously you want to make sure it keeps lubricated in order to perform at its best level, right? So that's one thing to consider in general for any utility knife. Keep them clean as much as possible. Now, when we compare the width of all 3 utility knives, the Fastback is actually the thicker one. Then comes the Lennox, and then the slimmest is the Husky. So the Husky lays flatter in your pocket for sure. When they're in open position, the longest one is the Fastback as well. Then comes the Husky by a few millimeters, and the shortest one would be the Lennox. Now, as mentioned, the grip on the Lennox is more comfortable thanks to the rubber on the handle and also thanks to the slight curve on the design. The most comfortable to me is the Lennox, followed by the Fastback, and in last place would be the Husky. And that's because it feels too slim. You get a better grip on the Lennox and Fastback because they're a little thicker. So which one is the best choice? And for some of you, this may not be a surprise, but the best one of them all would still be the Milwaukee Fastback. And the reasons are the following. The additional tools that come included, they all come in handy, whether you're using the gut hook or the wire stripper. But probably the most important feature is actually the storage of the additional 5 blades, which I believe is a must-have, especially when you're sheetrocking, for example. The last thing you want is to be looking for your blades. You have them on you already. The one-handed quick release is probably the most important feature on this, because the last thing you want is actually, if you're holding something up and you're trying to open it up or cut it with one hand, you obviously want to make sure you have a tool or a utility knife like this that you could open and close with one hand. The last thing you want is just to put something down so that way you could use both of your hands to open a utility knife. It's just not convenient. Now, also the aesthetic looks of it, the color red just makes it look freaking awesome. Plus, if you misplace your utility knife, it's easier to spot thanks to its red color. Now, the second place, I would give it to the Lennox Gold because of its comfortable grip and curved design, as I had already mentioned. And the last place would be for the Husky. Now that doesn't mean that the Husky and the Lennox are bad at all. They're really good knives and they work fantastic. But I do enjoy the Fastback much more. And for a few extra bucks, I think it's money well spent. But again, either one of these utility knives actually work just fine. So let me know in the comment section which one of these three do you actually prefer. Also, do you have any of them? And if you do, what experiences have you had with them? Have they been good? Have they been bad? Let me know in the comment section. Now I hope you found this video entertaining and useful. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. That is all I have for y'all today. Thank you so much for your time. Have yourself a great day.